During my daughter's wedding rehearsal, I accidentally overheard her fiancé and mother-in-law plotting to humiliate her in front of all the guests, take everything away from her, and break up with her. The betrayal hit me like a bolt of lightning. My dream of a happy celebration turned into a trap, but I came up with a cunning plan for revenge. My daughter didn't show up at the wedding, and when my mother-in-law called with complaints, "Where's your little brat? Everyone is waiting for her," I laughed and advised her to look, couldn't believe her eyes. Justice struck harder than betrayal. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. The Sentinel Hotel's service corridor smelled like industrial cleaner and stale champagne. I ducked out during the rehearsal break, needed the bathroom, needed a minute away from watching Thaddeus play Prince Charming. My daughter deserved better than his performance. 35 years designing theater effects taught me to spot a bad actor. On my way back, voices stopped me, male and female, coming from the alcove near the Rose Ballroom's side entrance. "Mom, you sure about this? I mean, she really please." A woman's voice. "Leona, Thaddeus's mother. That little fool thinks you're her Prince Charming. You saw how she practically threw money at the venue upgrade." My hand found the doorframe. "Hold on. The photos you made, they look real enough. Real enough for a room full of shocked guests. Trust me, sweetie. We do this right. You walk away with everything. The gifts alone will cover your crypto debts." Thaddeus laughed. Actually laughed. And here I thought I'd have to actually marry her. My phone. Where was my phone? Pocket. Left pocket. My fingers fumbled with it, nearly dropped it. The screen glowed. I found the voice recorder app. Pressed record. The red dot pulsed. My hand shook so badly I had to brace my wrist against the wall. They kept talking. Every word carved itself into my brain. Fake evidence. Photos. Saturday at 3:30 p.m., right between vows and rings. Maximum shock value. Thaddeus asking about his Oscar-worthy performance. I stood there recording until they finished, until their footsteps faded back toward the ballroom. Then I stood there longer because my legs had forgotten how to work. The rehearsal was still going when I walked back in. Everyone gathered around the makeshift altar. The wedding planner checking her clipboard. Praphany stood next to Thaddeus, holding his hand. Her face glowed. 28 years old, my daughter. Smart, funny, trusting. Too trusting. "Okay, let's run through the vows one more time." The wedding planner clapped her hands. "Thaddeus, you're up." He turned to Fanny, took both her hands. "I promise to make you the happiest woman alive, to cherish every single day we have together." Praphany's eyes got wet. "Tad, you're going to make me cry before Saturday." The guy's delivery was so fake, even a community theater would have rejected him. And I'd worked in community theater, painted sets for their production of Our Town back in '93. The lead actor had more sincerity reading the phone book. "Beautiful. Really beautiful." My voice came out hoarse. "Anyone else need coffee? I'm getting more." Nobody answered. I walked to the refreshment table anyway, picked up the pot with both hands because one hand was still shaking. The cup rattled against the saucer when I set it down. Coffee slopped over the rim. "Lemuel, isn't it?" Leona appeared beside me. She smiled. A shark sizing up a seal. I smiled back. Two could play the terrible actor game. "I'm so glad our children found each other," she said. "Yeah, Clell. You look pale. Wedding jitters for the father of the bride." Something like that. She patted my arm and glided away. I watched her cross the room to Thaddeus. Whisper something in his ear. He nodded. She whispered again. He nodded again. The balcony. I needed the balcony. Made outside. Loosened my collar. Portland air hit my face. Cool and damp. February in Oregon. The city stretched out below. Lights starting to flicker on as afternoon dimmed toward evening. My phone felt heavy in my pocket. I pulled it out, played back the first 10 seconds of the recording just to make sure, just to confirm I hadn't hallucinated the whole thing. Leona's voice came through clear. "That little fool thinks you're her Prince Charming." My jaw clenched. Knuckles went white around the phone. Inside, the rehearsal continued. I watched through the glass doors. The wedding planner positioned people, adjusted angles. Fanny laughed at something that Thaddeus said, kissed his cheek. Saturday. They were planning this for Saturday. 3 days away. The wedding was in 3 days. I went back inside for the final run-through. Stood in my designated spot as father of the bride. Leona stood in her designated spot as mother of the groom. She caught my eye across the room, smiled sweetly. My face muscles strained as I forced a smile back. The wedding planner reviewed the timeline. So, Saturday ceremony starts at 3 p.m. sharp. Processional, opening words, vows, exchange of rings, pronouncement, kiss, recessional. The whole thing should run about 30 minutes. Everyone clear? Oh, I was clear. Crystal clear. 3:30 p.m., right between vows and rings. They planned it better than D-Day. Any questions? The wedding planner looked around. Nobody had questions. Fanny beamed. Thaddeus squeezed her hand. Leona checked her watch. The rehearsal ended. People gathered coats and bags. I watched Leona whisper to Thaddeus one more time. She glanced at Fanny, then back to her son. Her lips formed words. Saturday, 3:30. Don't forget. My phone vibrated. Text from Fanny. Dad, we're all going to dinner at Ondina. You coming? My thumb hovered over the screen. I looked at my daughter, laughing with Thaddeus across the room. 6 empty coffee cups lined up on my workbench. The mechanical ballerina wound down, music box slowing to a stop. I'd been sitting here since 1000 p.m. Now the clock read 2:47 a.m. I pressed play on the recording again. 19th time, maybe 20th, lost count after 15. That little fool thinks you're a prince. Charming. My workshop looked exactly how I felt. Cluttered, chaotic. Vintage mechanical toys covered every surface. The dancing bear I'd restored last month. The German tin car from 1952. The Japanese robot with a walking mechanism. All of them frozen mid-motion, waiting for someone to wind them up again. I paced window to workbench, workbench to window. The street cleaner passed below, brushes spinning, water spraying. Portland at 3 a.m. was quiet, just machines and insomniacs. At 6 a.m., I called Quentin. Tokyo was 10 p.m. He'd be awake. His face filled the phone screen. My son, 10 time zones away. Dad, it's 10 at night here. What's you look terrible? I need you to listen to something. My hand shook, holding the phone. I propped it against the mechanical bear, pressed play on the recording, watched Quentin's face change, watched his jaw tighten. Holy! He ran his hand through his hair. Dad, you have to tell Percy right now. What if she doesn't believe me? What if she'll believe you? You never lied to her. Not once. Quentin leaned closer to his camera. I'm getting on a plane. No, stay there. I need you keeping clear head, not jet-lagged and emotional. Dad, trust me on this. He didn't like it. I could see him not liking it. But he nodded. I hung up. Made coffee number 7. Watched sunrise paint Portland in gold. Around 9 a.m., I remembered food existed. Found bagels in the freezer. Praffany liked the everything bagels. I put 4 in a paper bag. Her apartment building was 15 minutes away. I made it in 12. She opened the door in pajama pants and an oversized sweatshirt. Dad, what are you doing here so early? You look awful. Brought bagels. We need to talk. If this is about the seating chart again, I moved Aunt Carol. It's not the seating chart. Sit down. Her smile faded. You're scaring me. Her apartment was exactly what you'd expect 3 days before a wedding. Papers everywhere, color-coded binders, sample menus, fabric swatches. The wedding had taken over like an invasive species. She sat on the couch. I sat in the chair across from her. Yesterday at rehearsal, I recorded something by accident on my phone. Okay, I played the first 5 seconds. Thaddeus's voice. Mom, you sure about this? Just listen. I'll let the whole thing play. Watch my daughter's face. Watch her process each word. Her pen dropped, rolled off the coffee table. Neither of us picked it up. When it finished, she sat there silent. Her coffee mug slipped from her fingers, hit the carpet with a thud. Brown stains spread across the beige fibers. That's not that campy, Tad. It is. No, he wouldn't. We've been together 3 years. 3 years, Dad. I know, sweetheart. This is some kind of maybe they were joking. Some sick joke. Listen to it again. Does Thaddeus sound like he's joking? She did. Listen again. This time she stood up halfway through, walked to the window, put her palm flat against the glass, stood there for 30 seconds, maybe more. The gifts. Her voice came out hollow. Last month, Leona kept saying, make sure guests know cash gifts are preferred. I thought she was just tacky. What else? 2 weeks ago, Tad wanted to put the apartment lease in his name only. Said it was easier for paperwork. I was going to sign it tomorrow. My stomach dropped. You didn't sign yet? No, something fell off. I told him I wanted to wait. She turned from the window. Her face had gone white. Did he ever even love me? That question, the worst question, the one I've been asking myself all night. I think he did once before the debts, before his mother got her hooks deeper. That's supposed to make me feel better. No, it's supposed to make you understand this isn't your fault. She slid down the wall, just collapsed into a sitting position, knees pulled up, started crying. Not pretty crying, the kind that comes from somewhere deep. I got down on the floor next to her. My knees cracked loud enough to echo. 68-year-old joints protesting. Put my arm around her shoulders. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. You're trusting. There's a difference. Not anymore. We sat there on her floor for maybe 10 minutes. We both watched that coffee stain spread. It was like we'd forgotten how basic physics worked. Then she wiped her face. Rough, angry swipes, stood up fast, pulled out her laptop. I want them to feel this. What I'm feeling right now. Purse. No. Worse than this. I want them humiliated, destroyed. What are you saying? She looked at me directly. Her eyes weren't soft anymore. You worked in theater for 35 years. You know how to put on a show. Pause. So, let's give them one they'll never forget. Her phone buzzed. Text from Thaddeus. Morning, babe. Can't wait to see you tonight. Love you. She stared at the screen. Showed it to me. What did he say? He says he loves me. You going to respond? She typed. Love you too. See you at 7. Hit send. She typed that with all the warmth of someone ordering a sandwich. Turkey on rye. Hold the emotion there. Let him think everything's perfect. Her laptop booted up. She opened a document. Wedding day schedule. Final PDF glowed on screen. Color-coded timeline. Vendeur contact. Guest list with 127 names. They want a show at 3:30 p.m. right between vows and rings. Her finger hovered over the delete key. Let's give them a different show. Click. The file disappeared. I pull my chair closer to the screen. Okay, but we're going to need actors. Her phone buzzed again. Text from Leona. Praphany, dear, confirm the photographer for Saturday. Can't wait to capture every moment. Praphany showed me the screen. Praphany's laptop screen glowed blue in the late morning light. The deleted wedding file had left a gap. Now I needed to fill it with something better. Actors, I said, we'll need about 40. She looked at me. Where do we get 40 actors in 6 days? Portland Center Stage. I worked there 35 years. I pulled out my phone. Let me call Sylvia. Sylvia Douglas answered on the third ring. Lemuel Parker. I haven't heard from you since you retired. What? 5 years? 6. Listen, Syl. I need a favor. A big one. How big? Remember that production of The Sting we did in '98 where she interrupted excitement cutting through the phone? Oh, I like where this is going. Keep talking. I need actors, about 40 of them, and they need to be convincing as wedding guests. When? Saturday. Pause. This Saturday, as in 6 days from now. Yeah. Lim, this is either the craziest thing you've ever asked me or the best role of my life. I'm in. We spent the next hour laying it out. Praphany took notes, sketch diagrams. The plan crystallized. Stage a fake wedding with actors playing guests. Let Thaddeus and Leona execute their scheme there while being recorded. Gather evidence for legal action. The real wedding would happen nowhere. The fake wedding would happen everywhere that mattered. By Monday morning, we had appointments. First stop, Philemon Crawford's office downtown. My attorney for 20 years. His gray suit matched his gray hair, matched his gray filing cabinets. Let me understand. Philemon leaned back in his leather chair. You want to stage a fake wedding ceremony to catch your daughter's fiancé committing fraud? More or less. Lem, I've been your attorney for 20 years. This is creative. Is it legal? He flipped through law books, tapped his pen against a legal pad. Define legal. You're not entrapping them. They planned this independently. You're just providing an alternative venue for their crime. So document everything. Audio, video witnesses. Make sure nothing you do could be construed as entrapment. And for the love of don't let Fanny actually sign anything that day. She won't. There won't be a real ceremony. Then technically you're staging a theatrical performance where the antagonists happen to commit actual crimes. He grinned. This is why I went to law school. Next venue hunting. We needed someplace identical to the Sentinel Hotel's Rose Ballroom. Drove across town to the Vintage Plaza Hotel on SW Broadway. The manager met us in the lobby. So you're looking for a venue for this Saturday? Yes. It's a family event, small wedding reception. We have the Crystal Ballroom available. It's nearly identical to the Sentinel's Rose Ballroom, actually. I try not to look too eager. Is that right? Same designer, 1920s, same layout. People book the wrong one by accident sometimes. Perfect. I'll take it. That afternoon, Fanny planted the first seed. She texted Thaddeus. Hey babe, my dad switched photographers. Found someone cheaper through a friend at his old theater. His response came fast. Oh, I like the one we had. I know, but Dad's paying and wanted to save money. You know how he is about his pension. Yeah, I guess. As long as the photos turn out okay. They will. Everything's going to be perfect. Can't wait. Love you. She showed me the exchange. He took the bait. Good. Now, they think they're controlling the narrative. Tuesday morning, I visited Portland Center Stage. The building smelled the same. Paint and dust and decades of stories. Sylvia met me in the prop room, pushing a vintage costume rack that barely fit through the doorway. It took 3 attempts and 2 scraped knuckles. Theater people never learn the concept of measure twice. Move once, I said. She laughed. Says the man who once built a castle wall 6 and 2 wide for the stage. We pulled out makeup kits, costume pieces, planning materials. She'd already called 20 actors, all available, all eager. What about money? She asked. How much per actor? 3 hours of work, professional rate, $105 each. I did the math. $4,200. My pension savings, 6 months of careful budgeting, gone in 1 afternoon. Done, I said. That evening, I withdrew the money. The ATM had a $1,500 daily limit. 3 transactions over 3 days. I stood in my kitchen Tuesday night, counting $100 bills like a budget crime boss. My mechanical bear collection watched judgmentally from a shelf. Then it hit me. I was pacing my workshop, reviewing venue photos, checking sightlines. 11 p.m. The mechanical ballerina wound down again. I'd forgotten to wind it back up. And suddenly, my brain supplied a memory. Leona's face at the rehearsal, her hand reaching out to shake mine, her voice saying my name. I stopped, knocked over the German tin car. It crashed. Springs scattered across the workbench. Grabbed my phone with shaking hands. Called Sylvia. Sil, we have a problem. A massive problem. What happened? I'm an idiot. Leona met me at the rehearsal. We talked. She's seen my face. Oh, that's all you've got? The whole plan falls apart if she recognizes me. She paused, then laughed. Lim, you worked in special effects for 35 years. How many times did you transform actors into completely different people? That was different. That was exactly the same. Come to the theater tomorrow morning. I'll make you into someone even your own mother wouldn't recognize. You sure, honey? I once turned a 23-year-old into a convincing 85-year-old King Lear. Trust me, I'd planned elaborate stage illusions for 35 years. The one time I forgot makeup, my own daughter's fake wedding. Brilliant. Wednesday morning, Sylvia sat me in the makeup chair at Portland Center Stage. Studied my face with professional intensity. Started sketching transformation ideas on a notepad. We'll give you a prosthetic nose, she said. Different eyebrows, age spots. I'm shijishonte usme. I already have age spots. More age spots, different pattern, gray wig, slightly different posture. She circled my face with her finger. By the time I'm done, you'll be a completely different person. Wednesday afternoon brought unexpected intelligence. Fanny accidentally pocket-dialed Thaddeus while he was with Leona. Her phone sat on the table between us. We listened. Leona's voice. You look exhausted, sweetheart. Thaddeus couldn't sleep. I keep thinking about Mom. What if something goes wrong? Nothing will go wrong. I've done this before. That's what worries me. What if someone remembers? What if? Leona's voice sharpened. Your father left us with nothing. Nothing. You think I wanted to do this? I was a respected notary. I had dignity. Thaddeus quiet. I know. Leona's softer. This is our way back. One more time, and we're clear. Your debt's gone. My retirement funded. Then we're done. Promise. Promise. Praffany ended the call, looked at me. She lost her license. Previous fraud, probably. And her husband left her broke. I said, they're desperate people making terrible choices. Does that make it better? No, but it makes them human. Wednesday night, 9:47 p.m. That texted Fanny, babe, mom's asking if she can bring a friend to the ceremony, a notary, to witness the signatures. Just in case we need documents certified, Fanny read it aloud. They're bringing a notary to the wedding. For what? Marriage certificates are filed by the officiant. Unless you're planning to have documents signed right there. Divorce papers, she typed back. Sure, the more the merrier. They're not even pretending anymore, I said. Her phone lit up again. Text from Sylvia. Got our bride, Lahi Reed. 68, retired actress. She's perfect. Wait till you see her. Attached photo showed a woman with similar build and coloring to Fanny. I showed her the screen. That's wow. Thursday, we start rehearsals. Friday, we do a full run-through. Saturday, I trailed off. Praffany finished. Saturday, they get their show. Her phone buzzed again. That can't wait to make you my wife. 3 more days. She stared at the message. Didn't respond. Just turned the phone face down on the table. Thursday morning, 9 a.m., Portland Center Stage's rehearsal hall filled with 40 strangers who become family by Saturday. Lahi Reed stood center stage, tablet in hand, watching videos of Fanny. She pressed pause, rewound, pressed pause again. She touches her collarbone when she's nervous. See right there? Sylvia nodded. Good catch. And she laughs slightly before the joke lands, like she's already anticipating it. I watch from the director's chair. You've been studying her for 8 hours. Honey, I played Blanche DuBois for 6 months. This is a masterclass in character work. Across the room, an actor playing Uncle Raymond raised his hand. So, I'm supposed to have a boat? I check my notes. 22-foot fishing boat. You take it out on the Columbia River. What kind? Balliner. You bought it used in 2018. It needs engine work. He wrote this down. This is the most detailed background I've ever gotten for 3 hours of work. Watching 40 actors quiz each other on fictional family drama was like a very weird improv class. They sat in folding chairs with index cards, testing each other. What's Aunt Rose's cat's name? Mr. Whiskers. Wrong. Mr. Mittens. Start over. By Thursday afternoon, they'd moved to improvisation. 2 actors practiced wedding small talk. Actor 1 as Aunt Martha. Did you hear about the honeymoon? Actor 2 as Cousin Beth. Aruba, right? 2 weeks, all-inclusive. I coach from the sidelines. Good, but Martha, you're more judgmental. Like you disapprove of the expense. Actor 1 adjusted her tone. 2 weeks in Aruba must be nice. In my day, we went to Cannon Beach and called it luxury. Better. That's Martha. Lahi approached during a break. You know these people well. Every family gathering for 32 years. Thursday midnight, I returned to Vintage Plaza Hotel with a ladder and equipment bag. The security guard found me on my 3rd camera installation. Sir, what are you doing? I nearly fell off the ladder. Jesus, you scared me. It's 12:30 in the morning. I'm with the wedding party, Saturday's ceremony, setting up some surprise video elements. He shined his flashlight on my face. Video elements. I climbed down, showed him the rental contract. I rented the ballroom. See, Lemuel Parker, we're doing a special multimedia presentation. He examined the paper at midnight. Only time the room's empty. Wedding's at 3 p.m., rehearsal tomorrow afternoon. This was my window. What kind of video? Hidden cameras for surprise montage. Candid reactions from guests during the ceremony. He shrugged. Weddings get weirder every year. Just don't break anything. I installed 6 cameras total. Crown molding, floral arrangements, exit sign, plus 4 microphones. My hands shook slightly, calibrating the hidden screen under the cake table. Dropped the screwdriver twice. Friday morning brought Fanny's performance. She FaceTimed Thaddeus from bed, looking genuinely pale. Stress had physical benefits. Babe, you look terrible, he said. Thanks. really feeling the pre-wedding glow. Should we postpone? No, no, I'll be fine by tomorrow. Just need rest. You sure? Mom says. She interrupted. I'm sure. Don't come over. I don't want you getting sick. Bad luck anyway, right? Seeing the bride before the wedding. That's just a superstition. Humor me. I'll see you at the ceremony. Promise. Okay. Love you. You too. She ended the call, dropped the act immediately, sat up straight. I watched from her doorway. The Academy Award goes to too much. Perfect. He bought every second. Friday afternoon, Philman came by for final legal checks. Recording devices in place, 6 cameras for microphones, visible consent signs, small print on programs. This event is being recorded. That covers you legally. The moment they attempt fraud on camera, you're golden. What if they don't go through with it? Then you've thrown an expensive fake wedding. But based on their text about the notary, they're going through with it. I'll be watching from the real venue with the actual guests, recording everything on my end, too. He smiled. Lem, I've handled divorces for 30 years. This is the most creative justice I've ever seen. Friday evening, we sent corrected invitations to the real guests. Mass text. Important. Venue change to Vintage Plaza Hotel, 422 SW Broadway. Surprise for Panny and Thaddeus. Please keep confidential. Park an underground garage. Enter through side entrance. Ceremony 3:00 p.m. My actual Aunt Martha texted back immediately. What's going on? Why the change? Long story. Trust me, it's important. Please don't mention to the bride or groom. This is very strange, Lemuel. I know. Please trust me. Fine, but you owe me an explanation. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Sylvia transformed me in the makeup chair. 90 minutes of prosthetics. Age spots on top of age spots. New eyebrows. Gray wig. She gave me age spots. Age spots. I am Shijishunte Usme. I already have age spots. Now I had age spots on top of age spots. I looked like a spotted frog. I stared in the mirror. Didn't recognize myself. Perfect, Sylvia said. By noon, actors assembled at Vintage Plaza. I checked names with a clipboard like military roll call. 39 of 40. Everyone accounted for except my phone buzzed. 10:07 p.m. Text from Sylvia. Limb problem. Janet playing Aunt Rose has food poisoning. Can't make it. I called immediately. We're down an hour before. I'm sorry. She's really sick. Can we get someone else? Everyone else is already cast or unavailable. We'll have 39 instead of 40. What if Leona counts heads? What if she notices? Lem. She's expecting a wedding. She's not taking attendance. She's a con artist. Con artists notice details. We have no choice. We go with 39. I paced the hotel corridor. Damn it. Okay. Maybe she won't notice. Maybe. Breathe. We've got this. Nothing says I'm definitely not hiding anything like worrying about one missing guest an hour before showtime. 2:00 p.m. Thaddeus and Leona arrived. I watched from my position as Uncle Raymond, the disguised version of myself that Sylvia had created. The greeter, an actor, approached them. This looks great. Where's Praphany? Getting ready in the bridal suite. You know, bride's always running late. Leona stood in the center of the ballroom, turned slowly. Her heels echoed on marble. Something's off. What do you mean? That shifted nervously. I don't know. Something feels wrong. Mom, you're paranoid. I have good instincts. How many guests are here? I don't know. They're still arriving. She started counting under her breath. 23, 24. Mom, stop. You're making me nervous. I spoke quietly into my hidden earpiece. She's counting. Sil. She's actually counting guests. Sylvia's voice crackled back. Stay calm. She doesn't know what number she's counting to. Leona continued scanning the room. Where's Lemuel? The bride's father should be here greeting people. Maybe he's with Fanny. Maybe. Her eyes landed on me, held my gaze for 3 seconds. My heart hammered. She looked away. At 2:15, I lifted a champagne glass. My hand shook so badly the glass slipped. Didn't shatter, just made noise. Several people looked. Leona's head snapped around. I froze. An actor nearby laughed. Butterfingers today, Raymond. Others chuckled. Crisis averted, but I realized I was too nervous. Excused myself, walked outside. 5 minutes of Portland air. Deep breaths. When I came back, Leona stood in the center again, rotating, taking in every detail. That is beside her. Mom, everything looks fine. Can you relax? She didn't answer, just kept scanning, then stopped. There's no photographer. What? No photographer? Where's the cheaper photographer? Prafany mentioned the actor photographer emerged from a side room with his camera. Sorry, just setting up the equipment. Leona watched him, nodded slowly. Good. But her eyes kept calculating. She pulled out her phone, checked something, frowned. The address? What about it? Thaddeus asked. The invitation says Sentinel Hotel, but the sign outside said Vintage Plaza. Thaddeus looked at her. Maybe you misread. I don't misread. She looked at the ballroom again. Her voice dropped. Something is very, very wrong here. Leona stood in the center of the ballroom, calculating. Something is very, very wrong here. Thaddeus touched her arm. Mom, we're committed. The ceremony starts in 15 minutes. She looked at him, looked at the room, looked at the photographer, adjusting his equipment, made a decision. We proceed, she said. But I'm watching. I sat in the back row, disguised as Uncle Raymond, tablet hidden inside my program. 6 camera feeds glowed on the screen, every angle covered, audio clear. My hands gripped the tablet, so hard my knuckles went white beneath the age spot Sylvia had painted on. 2:50 p.m. The ceremony began. Music started. The side door opened. Leahy Reed entered as Fanny. She was perfect. The slight bounce in her step, the way she held the bouquet at her hip, the rapid blinking when she got emotional, every detail panned, every movement studied for 3 days and performed flawlessly. The actor guest turned, smiled. Aunt Martha dabbed her eyes with a tissue. Uncle Raymond stood straighter. Bridesmaid adjusted her own bouquet. Thaddeus watched his bride approach. Something crossed his face. Confusion. He leaned close during the opening prayer, whispered in her ear. You seem different today. Leahy touched his face, smiled. It's happiness, darling. Pure happiness. No, it's something else. Your perfume. Oh, I changed it. Wanted something special for today. Your voice sounds, the officiant interrupted. And now the couple has prepared their own vows. Thaddeus shook his head slightly, refocused. Right? Sorry. The ceremony proceeded. Readings by actor guests. Thaddeus's vows. La's response is perfectly mimicking Fanny's cadence. I watched the tablet. All 6 cameras recording. No technical failures. No missed audio. 3:28 p.m. Leona checked her watch. 2 minutes. Her hand trembled as she touched the envelope in her purse. She glanced at Thaddeus. He was watching his bride with something that might have been real emotion. For a moment, Leona's expression flickered. Doubt, guilt, something human. She closed her eyes, took a breath, opened them. The doubt was gone. 3:30 p.m. exactly. Leona stood. Stop. I'm sorry, but I cannot stay silent. The officiant looked up. Ma'am, please. My son deserves to know the truth before he makes the biggest mistake of his life. That turned, false surprise painted on his face. Mom, what are you? Leona held up the envelope, pulled out photos. Even from the back row, I could see they were garbage. Wrong lighting, pixelated edges. A middle school art fair would have rejected them. I have proof that this woman, this liar, has been unfaithful. The actor guest performed beautifully. Gasps, whispers, heads turning. Aunt Martha clutched her pearls so theatrically I made a mental note to hire her again. Woman had commitment. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. Poor Thaddeus. Leahy's distress was Oscar-worthy. Real tears courtesy of Menthol. What? No, those aren't real. Leona advanced on her. These photos don't lie, sweetheart. You thought you could fool my boy. Thaddeus approached, voice shaking. Fanny, tell me this isn't true. Leahy reached for him. Tad, please. I don't know what she's talking about. He jerked away, overacting, but the room accepted it. Don't touch me. Leona grabbed Thaddeus's arm. Come on, sweetheart. We're leaving. But the gifts. Especially the gifts. Her voice projected righteousness after what she's done. Their compensation for emotional damage. Everyone here is a witness to her betrayal. Actor Uncle Raymond half stood. Now wait just a minute. Leona cut him off. You wait. My son's been humiliated. These gifts were meant to celebrate a marriage built on lies. Actor Aunt Martha tried. This doesn't seem right. Leona ignored her. Start loading them now. Thaddeus began stacking gift boxes on the wheeled cart an actor had helpfully provided. He lifted the third box, nearly dropped it. What do people put in these? Probably crystal, silver, things of value. Leona was distracted, triumphant. He didn't tell him bricks weigh more than toasters. My phone buzzed. Text from Fanny. Did she do it? I typed back, watching the tablet. Right on schedule. 3:30 exactly. I wish I could see her face. You will. 6 cameras, every angle. Activate the screen. Not yet. Let them collect more gifts. More crimes on camera. Dad, I want them to know. 30 seconds. I promise. Leona and Thaddeus worked systematically. 10 boxes. 15, 20. Every movement recorded. Every word about compensation captured. 3:33 p.m. I tapped the tablet 3 times. Under the cake table, the hidden screen illuminated. 48 in of LED embedded horizontally beneath the white tablecloth, positioned so anyone near the gift table would see it reflecting on the floor. Leona reached for another box, paused. What's that light? Thaddeus didn't look. What light? Is that a screen? She bent down, looked under the table on the screen. Live feed from the real venue. Fanny in her wedding dress. Very much present, very much smiling. Leona straightened slowly. Thaddeus. Thaddeus. He turned. What? She pointed. Look under the table. Thaddeus crouched by the cake table, stared at the screen. Praphany waved at the camera. Her lips moved. He read them. E. Dot. Behind her, the real Aunt Martha appeared, waved, then real Uncle Raymond. More real guests, all waving, all very much not in this ballroom. That stood slowly, turned to face the room, really looked at the guests for the first time. That woman in the third row, he'd never seen her before in his life. That uncle in the back, different nose, different everything. He grabbed Leona's arm. Mom, his voice cracked. Mom, these aren't the real guests. Leona scanned faces. Her expression shifted. Triumph to confusion to dawning horror. What? The bride Lahi watched them with an amused smile. She reached up, touched her hair, gripped the wig at the hairline, and pulled. The wig came off smoothly, gray hair styled differently beneath. Lahi took a theatrical bow. Thank you for the applause. On the hidden screen, Praphany leaned toward the camera. Leona. Surprise. Leona stared. What is this? What's happening? Remember your plan? Fanny's voice came through speakers I'd hidden in the floral arrangements. Humiliate me at 3:30. Take the gifts. File for divorce Monday. Really creative. Unfortunately for you, I heard about it last Saturday. I appeared on screen next to Fanny. I recorded your conversation at the rehearsal. Every word, Thaddeus's voice came out. Dad, her dad, is everything you just did. I kept my tone even. Recorded. 6 cameras for microphones. Fraud, defamation, attempted theft of property. Leona found her voice. You can't. This isn't legal. Philemon appeared on screen. Attorney Philemon Crawford. Actually, it's perfectly legal. You planned a crime independently. We simply provided an alternative venue for you to commit it while being documented. Around the room, the unmasking began. Actor Aunt Martha removed her wig. Sorry, honey. Theater vertigo player. This was fun, though. Actor Uncle Raymond peeled off his beard. Portland center stage. Lim's an old friend. 40 people removing disguises at once looked like the world's weirdest flash mob. Uncle Raymond's beard came off and revealed a woman. That was entertainment. Lahi stepped forward, still in the wedding dress, but wigless. Leahy Reed, I've played Blanche Dwiss, Lady McBTH, and now your victim. This was the best role. Leona backed away. You're all actors. Sylvia emerged from a side room with her production clipboard. Every single one. Well, except the real Panny. She's 6 blocks away. Thaddeus turned to his mother, voice breaking. Mom, they played us. They completely played us. This is entrapment. Entrapment. I walked down the center aisle. Actors stepped aside. I wiped the last makeup off with a cloth. Let my real face show. Entrapment requires law enforcement to induce you to commit a crime you weren't already planning. You planned this last week. I recorded it. You just executed your plan exactly as discussed. You can't prove anything. I held up my phone. 6 cameras. Audio recorded from the moment you entered. Would you like to hear the part where you said these gifts are ours as compensation? Leona grabbed Thaddeus's arm. Don't say anything. Not a word. We're leaving. Detective Rogers is probably waiting at the exits by now. She dragged him toward the side exit. Come on, Mom. Maybe we should. No, we're leaving now. She pushed the door. It opened before she reached it. Detective Tom Rogers stepped through. Plain clothes, badge on his belt. 2 uniformed officers behind him. Leona Morgan. She froze. Who are you? He showed his badge. Detective Tom Rogers, Portland PD. We need to talk about what just happened here. I'm not saying anything without my attorney. That's your right. But we have video evidence of attempted fraud, defamation, and theft. Multiple witnesses. You might want to cooperate. Thaddeus suddenly pulled away from his mother. I'll cooperate. I'll tell you everything. Leona grabbed his arm. Thaddeus, shut up. He wrenched free. No, Mom. I'm done. This is insane. At the police station, 4:00 p.m. Rogers sat across from Leona in the interrogation room. Thaddeus had been taken to a separate room immediately. You have the right to remain silent. After Miranda rights, Leona spoke. I want my lawyer. I'm not saying anything. Fair enough. While we wait for your attorney, let me show you something interesting. Roger slid a tablet across the table. Case file open. 2019 Bend, Oregon. A woman named Leona Morgan, that's you, was investigated for a similar scheme, wedding fraud. Charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence. Leona's face went pale. That case was dismissed because the victim didn't want to press charges. Embarrassed. Sound familiar? He swiped to another file. 2017 Eugene. Another wedding situation. And patterns becoming clear. I want my lawyer. He's on his way. But here's the thing, Ms. Morgan. This time we have video. Crystal clear. 6 angles. Our deal. You planned it. You said it out loud. And you tried to execute it. This time there's no getting out. Leona tried to smash the screen when Rogers first showed it to her. She brought her purse down hard. It bounced off. Screen didn't crack. I'd used the same material we built breakaway props from. Irony tasted sweet. Her phone buzzed. Text exchange with her attorney that Rogers photographed. Leona, they have video. Everything. Attorney. How much video? Leona. All of it. The whole ceremony. Me accusing her. Taking the gifts. Everything. Attorney. That's problematic. Leona. Fix this. Attorney. Leona. If they have what you're describing, there's nothing to fix. We're looking at plea bargains, not dismissal. In the separate room, Thaddeus sang like a canary at a bird convention. I almost felt bad. Almost. It was my mom's idea. All of it. Head in his hands. Words tumbling. The fake evidence. The plan to humiliate Fanny. Take the gifts. File for divorce. She said it would solve my debt problems. $87,000. Crypto investments went bad. So, you agreed to commit fraud to cover gambling debts? They weren't gambling. They were investments. I don't know what I thought. Did you know your mother had done this before? That looked up. What? She has a history. At least 2 similar schemes we know about. Oh my God. She said this was one time. Get clear and stop. She promised. Sounds like she lied to you too. 4:10 p.m. holding room. Leona alone before her attorney arrived. She sat on the metal bench. Expensive suit wrinkled. Her hand shook. Not fear at first, rage, then something else. She opened her phone, scrolled to a photo, younger her in a notary office, professional headshot, proud smile. Date 2018. She stared at it. The person she was before everything fell apart. Closed her eyes for just a moment. Her face crumpled, not crying but close. Genuine grief for who she used to be. Then hardened again, closed the phone. But the moment showed everything she knew. She destroyed herself. Became the thing she once would have condemned. 4:14 p.m., Detective Rogers left her alone in the interrogation room. Through the one-way mirror, I stood watching with Praffany and Rogers. Praffany saw Leona for the first time since the rehearsal. Leona sat perfectly still, staring at the metal table. Then she looked up directly at the mirror. Couldn't see through it, but seemed to know we were there. She mouthed something. Rogers asked, what did she say? I read her lips twice to be sure. This isn't over. Praffany laughed, sharp, cold. Yes, it is. Rogers' phone buzzed. He checked it, expression changing. Folks, we just got a call from a woman in Bend. She saw the news coverage. Apparently, there's already media outside. She says Leona did the same thing to her daughter in 2019. She wants to file charges now. He looked at me. How many others do you think there are? I watched Leona through the glass. Let's find out. Monday evening, my workshop. The news played on the TV mounted above my workbench. In an unprecedented case, a 68-year-old theatrical retiree orchestrated an elaborate sting operation to catch his daughter's fiancé and future mother-in-law attempting wedding fraud. I looked at my cat on the windowsill. Unprecedented, like nobody's ever been fed up with con artists before. They call me a theatrical retiree, like I retired from being theatrical. I was in special effects. I blew stuff up and made fake blood. Hardly Hamlet, the reporter continued. Lemuel Parker, a retired special effects designer from Portland Center Stage, hired 40 actors to stage a fake wedding ceremony. My phone buzzed. Text from Sylvia. You're famous. Drinks to celebrate. I typed back, maybe. Feel weird about it. Why? You won. I didn't respond. Across the room, my mechanical toys sat silent. I hadn't wound them since Thursday. The ballerina, the bear, the German car, all frozen mid-motion. Tuesday morning, Detective Rogers called. Lem, you sitting down? That's never good news. What happened? A woman named Patricia Thornton just walked into the Bend Police Department. Says Leona Morgan did the exact same thing to her daughter in 2019. I know you mentioned that Saturday, right? But here's the thing. She's ready to press charges now. Seeing your case on the news gave her courage. And LM, I think there might be more victims. We're checking records in Eugene, Salem, even Vancouver, Washington. This woman's been busy. By Wednesday, 3 more women had come forward. I sat behind the one-way glass at the police station, watching them give statements, all telling similar stories. Wedding schemes, fake evidence, theft, crying, angry, relieved. One woman from Eugene, 2017. One from Salem, 2020. Patricia's daughter from Bend, 2019 plus Fanny. For separate incidents over 6 years. Wednesday afternoon, I met with ADA, Sarah Chun, and Philemon at the prosecutor's office. Chun slid a folder across the table. We now have 4 separate incidents. 2017, 2019, 2020, in your daughter's case this year. Philemon leaned forward. That establishes a pattern, premeditation. Better than that, it shows this was her business model. Chun opened the folder. She found men with debt, coached them through the scheme, took a percentage. How much did she make conservatively? $200,000 over 6 years. Probably more we haven't found. I kept my voice level. And Thaddeus, latest victim, but also a perpetrator. His cooperation is helping, but he's not innocent. Will Fanny get restitution? Every victim will, but Leona's broke. Judgment might not mean much practically. I drove home through afternoon traffic, stopped at a red light near a pawn shop, saw a woman inside talking to the clerk. Not Leona, just a woman. But I thought about desperation, about what people become when they're drowning. Thursday morning, Thaddeus received an envelope at his mother's house where he'd been staying. Plain white, no return address, typed message inside. I learned about this later, but Detective Rogers told me Thaddeus's hands shook reading it. The letter said, I can make the evidence disappear. $50,000 details to follow. Thaddeus showed his mother. Her voice rose with hope. Someone's offering to help make the evidence disappear. For $50,000. Mom, we don't have that. She gripped the letter. We get it. This is our way out. How? How do we? Your car. My jewelry. We borrow the rest. Thaddeus, this is a gift. He hesitated. What if it's a scam? She laughed, manic edge to it. A scam? Someone scamming scammers? That would be rich. They spent Thursday afternoon liquidating everything. I sat in my car outside the pawn shop without planning to. Just happened to be driving past, watched through the window as Leona sold her jewelry. She sold jewelry for 30 cents on the dollar. The pawn shop guy practically cackled. I didn't know people actually cackled outside cartoons. She was crying. The pieces clearly had sentimental value. A necklace, earrings, a bracelet. I thought about calling it off, warning her about the trap. Didn't. Drove to an empty parking lot. Sat there 20 minutes. Phone in my hand. Didn't call. Just sat. Thursday evening, 6:47 p.m. That's finger hovered over the confirm button on his banking app. Leona watched over his shoulder, both holding their breath. He pressed it. $50,000 gone. They fell for anonymous helper will make evidence disappear for cash. I've seen better plots in community theater murder mysteries. Friday morning, Detective Rogers called. Sounded triumphant. They did it. Transferred the full amount at 6:47 p.m. yesterday. The prosecutor's test? Yep. We now have them on attempted witness tampering. That's a separate felony. I didn't sound happy. Good. You don't sound thrilled. They're idiots. They fell for the most obvious trap. That's kind of the point. I know. Just they're so desperate. They can't even see straight. Lim, they were going to destroy your daughter's life. Remember that? I remember. I hung up. Poured bourbon. Didn't drink it. Just stared at the glass. Thursday night at 11:47 p.m. My phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Parker Patrick Holmes from the wedding. I remembered. You played Cousin Marcus. What can I do for you? Well, there's a problem with my payment. Problem? You were paid $400 like everyone else. That's the thing. I thought it was $500. We had a deal. I pulled up the contract on my laptop. Patrick, I have the signed agreement right here. $400, you signed it. I must have misunderstood. Look, I'm a little short this month. If you can't cover the extra $500, if I can't, long pause. I'd hate for the defense to find out the wedding was staged with paid actors. Might complicate your case. Ice in my voice. Are you threatening me? I'm just saying. $500 would help me keep quiet. Otherwise, I might need to talk to someone about what really happened. Give me a day, 24 hours. Then I call Leona's lawyer. I dropped my coffee mug. Didn't break. Rolled under the table. Pressed the phone hard against my ear. 2:17 a.m. Couldn't sleep. Called Philman. We have a problem. A massive problem. He answered groggy. Lim, it's 2 in the morning. Patrick Holmes, one of the actors. He's blackmailing me. Says he'll tell the defense everything unless I pay him. Suddenly alert. How much? $500. But it's not about the money. If he testifies that we staged it with paid actors, the defense will argue entrapment, false evidence, prosecutorial misconduct. It could destroy the whole case. Pause. Or it could be exactly what we need. What? Let him go to the defense. Don't stop him. Are you insane? Trust me, this could work in our favor. How? How could this possibly? Let me make a call. Don't pay him. Let him make his move. I paced my workshop until dawn. All my mechanical toys sat silent around me. Dead batteries, unwound springs. The place felt like a graveyard. Sylvia stopped by Friday morning. Looked around. You okay? Place feels dead. I couldn't explain why I'd let everything run down. Friday morning, 9:30 a.m., Patrick walked into defense attorney Marcus Webb's office. I sat in my car outside watching, gripping the steering wheel. Considered going in. Stopping it didn't. Inside, Patrick sat across from Webb. Mr. Holmes, you said you have information about the wedding ceremony. Yeah, the whole thing was fake, staged, paid actors. Webb leaned forward. Explain. Lemuel Parker hired 40 of us. Portland theater people, 400 each. We memorized names, played fake guests. Even the bride was an actress, Webb wrote frantically. This couldn't validate the entire case. Evidence obtained through fraud. I know, right? Thought you should know. Why are you coming forward? Patrick shrugged. Parker underpaid me. 500 short. I'm a little bitter. We could potentially compensate you for your time if you testify. Patrick smiled. He played bitter, underpaid actors so well, I actually believed him. Should have given him 500. He earned it. That would be great. Oh, one more thing I should mention. Yes, I've been working with the prosecutor's office as an informant. This entire conversation is being recorded. Webb's pen froze mid-note. Friday afternoon, 2 p.m., Philman's office. I didn't sit. Paced between filing cabinets, bookshelf, window. Couldn't be still. Patrick was working for you the whole time. Philman sat calmly. For the prosecution, technically, but yes. You didn't tell me. No. Why the hell not? Because your reaction needed to be genuine. If you'd known Patrick was faking, your panic wouldn't have been authentic. Authentic? I didn't sleep for 2 days. I thought the whole case was collapsing. I know. I'm sorry, but it worked. I stopped pacing, faced him. What else haven't you told me? Nothing else. That was the only element you didn't know about. How do I believe you? You met my eyes. You don't. You decide whether the outcome was worth the manipulation. That's a shitty answer. It's an honest one. You pulled out a legal pad, drew a diagram, flowchart showing all layers of the plan. The core was mine. Fake wedding, actors, recording, but around it more circles, Patrick's double agent role, the prosecutor's witness tampering test, media strategy to flush out victims. He drew the plan like a conspiracy theory flowchart. I expected red string connecting photos. Very beautiful mind, except with more felonies. The core plan was yours. Fake wedding actors recording. That was brilliant. But courts don't always care about brilliant. They care about evidence that can't be challenged. So, I added insurance. Patrick. If the defense got desperate enough to contact him, we'd know they were willing to use compromised testimony. That gives us leverage. You set up their attorney to fail. I gave their attorney an opportunity to do the right thing. He chose poorly. That's semantics. He shrugged. Welcome to law. It's all semantics. The anonymous letter, too. The 50,000. That was the prosecutor's office. Ada Chen's idea. Test whether they'd attempt witness tampering. Jesus, how many layers did you people add? Enough to ensure victory. You wanted justice for Fanny. I delivered it. Are you angry about the method or the success? I sat down finally. I don't know yet. Monday morning, courthouse, preliminary hearings. Defense attorney Webb had recused himself. Ethics violation. New attorney scrambling with an unwinnable case. I sat in the public gallery, Fanny next to me. We didn't hold hands, barely looked at each other. Prosecutor Chen stood. Your Honor, the state presents video evidence from the incident. The video played on the large courtroom screen. Entire room watched. Leona standing. Dramatic accusations, waving those garbage photos. Watching Leona on that giant courtroom screen was like seeing a bad movie you directed. Except the bad acting was real and the consequences were prison. I have proof this woman has been unfaithful. Actor guests gasping, Leona and Thaddeus collecting gifts. What do people put in these? Probably crystal, silver, things of value, Fanny whispered. I forgot how loud she was, I whispered back. She's been loud her whole life. Just usually got away with it. At the defense table, Leona sat perfectly still, hands folded, face plank. Only her throat moved, swallowing repeatedly. Judge watched the entire video. I've seen enough. Preliminary hearing is satisfied. We'll proceed to trial, unless plea negotiations conclude first. Tuesday, Leona's new attorney, Richard Moss, slid a plea agreement across the table. Leona pushed it back. He slid it again. She pushed it back 3 times before finally signing. I learned this later from Philemon, but I could picture it, her hand shaking, pen hovering, the moment she gave up. Miss Morgan, they have you on video, committing multiple felonies, 6 different angles, previous victims willing to testify. Your son is cooperating with prosecution. Thaddeus is cooperating. Full cooperation. He's giving them everything. She laughed bitter. Of course he is. Saving himself. We can't win at trial. The plea offer. For years. Eligible for parole in 2. It's the best we'll get. For years. Or we go to trial and you get 7 to 10. Your choice. Wednesday. That is testified. He threw his mother under the bus, backed up, and ran her over again for good measure. Prosecutors barely had to ask questions. Mr. Morgan, whose idea was the wedding fraud scheme? My mother's Leona Morgan. Explain how it started. I was in debt. $87,000 from crypto investments. She said she knew a way to clear it. Marry someone, create a fraud scenario, take their assets, divorce. Had she done this before? Yes. She told me about previous times. 2017, when I was 19. At least one more. Did you love Praffany Parker? His voice broke. At first, yes. Then the debts got worse. My mother kept pushing, and I don't know what I felt anymore. He didn't look at his mother once, kept his eyes on the prosecutor, on his hands, on the ceiling, anywhere but her. Leona watched on the courtroom monitor. Not rage on her face, just resignation, betrayal, acceptance that this is who her son really is. Lunch recess, courtroom emptied. Leona sat alone at the defense table. Thaddeus was escorted past her to a separate exit. Thaddeus, quiet. He stopped. Didn't turn around. I'm sorry I made you into this. You're sorry you got caught. No, I'm sorry I taught you to think like I think, to see people as marks. His voice broke. I did love her, Mom. At first, I know you ruined that. Made me into someone who could do that to someone I loved. Tears on her face. I was trying to save you. He finally turned. You destroyed me instead. The officer touched his arm. We need to go. Thaddeus left without looking back. Leona sat alone, crying silently. No sound. Thursday morning. Sentencing. Judge Torres looked down from the bench. Ms. Morgan, you orchestrated a sophisticated fraud scheme targeting vulnerable young men with financial problems. You coached them to deceive women who trusted them, causing emotional and financial harm. You've shown no remorse. The court sentences you to 4 years in state prison, eligible for parole after 2 years served, plus restitution of $125,000 to be divided among your victims. Leona stood. I understand. Do you have anything to say? Brief pause. I was someone once, someone respectable. I don't expect you to care, but I want the record to show I know what I've lost. Noted. Mr. Morgan. Thaddeus got probation, 2 years supervised, 300 hours community service, 15,000 to felony, 10-year restraining order. Leona was escorted out in handcuffs. She passed me in the aisle. Our eyes met for 3 seconds. No words. She looked at me, not with hatred, with something worse. Understanding, her expression said, You won, but what did it cost you? I looked away first. Fanny touched my arm. It's over. Yeah, you did it. You protected me. Yeah. She noticed my tone. Dad, you okay? Let's go home. I drove home. Sat in my car in my own driveway for 15 minutes before going inside. The following Thursday, a letter arrived. Prison envelope. I opened it standing in my workshop, read once, read again, sat down heavily. Lemuel, you took everything. My freedom, my son, my last shred of dignity. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it and wouldn't believe you if you gave it. But I want you to understand something. I was someone once, a professional proud. Your daughter probably doesn't know this, but I volunteered at women's shelters. I helped people. Then my husband left. I made mistakes trying to survive. Lost my license. Lost my identity. I became what I fought against. You did the right thing stopping me. Your daughter is lucky to have a father who protects her so completely. I just wonder who's protecting you from what this victory is costing. Your mechanical toys have stopped. I noticed that the hair in your hands were still. Men like us, we need our rituals. When those stop, it means something's broken. I hope your revenge was worth what you've lost. Not just the money you spent, not the time, the part of yourself that could forgive, the part that could stop. I'm paying for my sins. I accept that. But you're paying too in a different currency. Hope it balances. LM. I set the letter down. Looked at my mechanical toys. All stopped. All silent. Picked up the ballerina, my favorite. Wound the key. It didn't play. Broken spring. Probably set it down carefully. Sat in my chair, head in my hands. My phone rang. Fanny calling. I looked at it ringing. Didn't answer. Let go to voicemail. Sat alone in silence. 3 weeks after sentencing, I finally understood what Leona's letter meant. Not the words, the warning. I sat in my workshop holding it. Read it for maybe the 40th time. Hope your revenge was worth what you've lost. I hadn't lost anything, had I? Drove to Praffany's apartment that afternoon. She didn't answer the door immediately. Made me wait. When she finally opened it, the chain was still on. Dad, you should have called first. Since when do I need to call before visiting my daughter? She removed the chain, let me in. Since I stopped trusting people to be who they say they are. I noticed the locks. 3 deadbolts. Fortress-level security. Purse those or can't be too careful. She walked to the kitchen. Didn't offer coffee. We sat at her table. Her phone buzzed. Dating app notification. She silenced it immediately. Not interested. They all want something. Sweetheart, The threat's gone. Thaddeus has a restraining order. Leona's in prison. She laughed bitter. You think they were the only threats? Dad, everyone's a potential threat now. What do you mean? A guy at work asked me to coffee yesterday. Nice guy, design department. Known him 2 years. And I said no. Want to know why? She looked at me because my first thought was, what does he want? What's the angle? Is this the setup? I spent 20 minutes analyzing whether coffee was code for something. The words hit like a physical blow. Purse. It's just coffee, Dad. Just coffee. And I can't even trust that anymore. I sat back. What have I done to you? You saved me, but I don't know if I can ever trust anyone again. That night, video call with Quentin. 2 a.m. is time in Tokyo. Dad, you look terrible. Thanks. That's helpful. I mean it. You're not sleeping. I can tell. I'm Euphine. His voice got firm. No, you're not. And neither is Percy. I talked to her yesterday. She's Dad. She's broken. I was protecting her. I know. And you did. But what cost? I got angry. What was I supposed to do? Let them destroy her? He softened. No, you did the right thing. I just wish the right thing didn't cost so much. I deflated. Me too, son. Me too. The next week, I did something I'd never done. Made an appointment with a therapist, Dr. Helen Morrison. Sat in her waiting room for 10 minutes before the first session. Almost left twice. Forced myself to stay. The magazines were from 2019. I read about old news and thought, at least some things age badly for everyone. What brings you here, Mr. Parker? My son thinks I need help. My daughter's broken, and I got a letter from prison that won't leave me alone. Tell me about the letter. I explained everything. The fake wedding, the sting, the trial, Leona's letter about costs. She listened, then asked, do you regret what you did? I don't know. I did what I had to do. But was it worth it? What if you'd done nothing? Long pause. She would have been destroyed, married him, lost everything, been publicly humiliated. So you chose between one kind of damage and another. That's a terrible choice. Most important choices are. Meanwhile, Thaddeus was doing community service at a homeless shelter, serving food, washing dishes, head down, avoiding eye contact. He met a man there, Marcus, 68, reformed con artist. They talked during break. Marcus washing dishes beside him. First time doing this. Community service court-ordered. I figured you got that look. What look? Guy who just realized he's not who he thought he was. I had it too 20 years ago. What were you in for? Fraud, pension scheme, took money from people who couldn't afford to lose it. That stopped working. How'd you come back from that? I didn't. Not all the way. You don't come back from hurting people. You just learn to live forward. I wrote her a letter. Apology. She hasn't responded. She won't. Probably won't even open it. Then why'd I write it? Because it wasn't for her. It was for you. Admitting what you did out loud. Fanny had received that letter. It sat on her kitchen counter for days. Unopened. She circled it like it might explode. When I visited again, I saw it. That from Thaddeus? Yeah. You gonna open it? I don't know. Part of me wants to read what he has to say. And the other part? The other part wants to burn it unopened. Let him wonder if I ever saw it. Both are valid choices. Which would you do? I considered. I'd probably read it. Then burn it. But that's me. Small smile. That sounds about right. 6 weeks after sentencing, I found a therapy group for fraud victims. People who'd been through what Fanny experienced. I found something. Group for people who've been through what you went through. Dad, I don't want to talk about this with strangers. They're not strangers. They're people who understand. You've been going to therapy? I was surprised. How do you know? You're different. Quieter. Like you're actually processing instead of just moving forward. It's helping. Maybe it could help you too. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. She went. First session, she sat in the circle. 8 people, a facilitator, stories of betrayal, schemes, lost savings, broken trust. Praphany, would you like a share? I was engaged. Found out 3 days before the wedding he was planning to humiliate me and take everything. My dad stopped it. But now I don't trust anyone. I see schemes everywhere. Can't take anything at face value. Across the circle, a man spoke. I got scammed by my business partner. 3 years of work, all my savings. I know that feeling like the world's suddenly hostile. She looked at him. Simon, 33, teacher. Their eyes met. Exactly. How do you move past it? I'm not sure you do, but being here helps. Knowing others get it. Small nod. Yeah, it does help. 3 months after the trial, Fanny called. Her voice sounded different, lighter. Dad, you busy? I was in my workshop repairing the mechanical ballerina. Never too busy for you. What's up? I met someone at the therapy group. I set down my tools. Oh, his name's Simon. He's a teacher. He got scammed by his business partner a few years ago, and we've been talking after sessions, then coffee, then dinner. Dad, it's been 3 months, and I think I might be able to trust again. Emotion caught in my throat. Sweetheart, that's wonderful. I want you to meet him dinner this weekend. I love that, Dad. Yeah. Thank you for the therapy group for not giving up on me. Never. I never give up on you. Saturday evening, October, 6 months since the fake wedding that changed everything. I stood in my workshop before leaving. All the mechanical toys worked again. The bear, the German car, the dancing robot. Months of patient repair. Each one a small victory over breaking. Only the ballerina remained. I'd save her for last. Drove to Praffany's new apartment. Nicer neighborhood. Fresh start. Noticed she only had 2 locks now. Progress. She opened the door, smiling. Dad, come in. Simon's here. He stood immediately. Firm handshake. Direct eye contact. Nervous but not hiding it. Mr. Parker, it's really good to finally meet you. Percy has told me a lot about you. All good, I hope. Honestly, some scary parts too. But I respect what you did for her. I studied him. What did I do? Protected her when it mattered. Even when it cost you. Praffany called from the kitchen. Simon, don't let him intimidate you. He smiled nervously. Too late, but that's okay. Dinner was home-cooked. Table set nicely. Conversation flowed. Simon talked about his elementary school students, third graders learning fractions, the joy and frustration of teaching. Then, out of nowhere, Mr. Parker, I know what you've been through. What Percy has been through. She told you everything, and I want you to know I'm not like that. I'm not here to hurt her. How do I know that? He got completely serious. If you want, I'll take a polygraph test right now. I'll answer any question you have. I've got nothing to hide. I paused, fork halfway to my mouth, stared at him. You're serious? Completely. The kid offered to take a polygraph at dinner. I almost asked if he wanted to provide a blood sample, too. Then I realized he was monumentally serious. I laughed. First genuine laugh in months. Started as a chuckle built to real laughter. Years of tension releasing. You're either the biggest fool I've ever met or the most honest man. I'm choosing to believe the second one. He relaxed. Thank you. I'll take that. Fanny smiled at both of us. See, I told you you'd like him. During dessert, Simon told his story. Business partner, best friend since college. We started an education tech company. 3 years in, found out he'd been embezzling. Took everything. My savings, investors' money, our reputation. What happened to him? Prison. 2 years out now, last I heard. You ever talk to him after? He shook his head. No. Some bridges don't need rebuilding. But it taught me something. How to spot genuine people. That's why I knew Percy was real. She reached for his hand. We're both learning to trust again. My phone buzzed. Text from Flamin. Leona released early for good behavior. 2 years served at 4. Moving to Florida to live with sister. Won't be back. I read it. Set the phone down. What is it? Praffany asked. Leona. Released early. Good behavior. Moving to Florida. How do you feel about that? I considered. Tired. Just tired. She's someone else's problem now. Or maybe no one's. Maybe she'll actually change. Simon watched me. You don't sound angry. I'm not. Anger takes energy. I'm fresh out. What about Thaddeus? He's on probation. Community service. Heard he's actually showing up doing the work. Maybe he'll figure it out. Praffany's voice got quiet. Do you forgive him? Long pause. I don't know if that's the right question. I'll let them go. That's different from forgiveness. After dinner, Praffany walked me to the door, hugged me. Long hug, not brief. Dad, thank you for what? For everything. For saving me. For the therapy group. For tonight, not scaring Simon away. I almost destroyed you. She pulled back, looked at me. No, you show me what real love looks like. It's protection, even when it hurts. It's sacrifice. It's doing the hard thing because it's right. It costs you months of your life. Trust issues, paranoia, and now I'm stronger. I know what betrayal looks like. I know what genuine looks like. Simon is genuine. I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference before. That's an expensive lesson, but I learned it and I survived it because of you. Emotion caught in my voice. I'm proud of you. I know. That's why it was worth it. I drove home, sat in the car in my driveway for a moment, but this time got out without heavy pause. Workshop turned on all the lights, approached the ballerina with fresh eyes. The final repair took an hour, installing the new spring, calibrating the mechanism, winding the key carefully, set her down, watch her spin. The music played perfect. I made a small brass plaque, engraved it myself for Fanny for second chances. From Dad, October 2025, attached it to the base with care. Later, video call from Quentin. Tokyo nighttime skyline behind him. Dad, how are you? Really? You know, son, for the first time in a year. Good. Really good. You mean that? I gestured to the workshop. Look around. Toys are all working again. Workshop's lit up. I'm sleeping through the night. And Percy, she's healing. Met someone. Good guy. Honest. She's laughing again. Real laughs. Then it was worth it. Maybe. Or maybe we just survived it. Either way, we're still here. That's what matters. Dad, you're still here. Yeah, we are. After the call, I noticed a small package on the doorstep. Must have arrived while I was at Fanny. Inside, a vintage music box. Beautiful craftsmanship. A note. Thank you for showing me real craftsmanship. Some things are worth preserving. Marcus from the shelter. I smiled. Thaddeus must have told him about my hobby. Marcus, the reformed mentoring Thaddeus, sending unexpected grace. I placed it on my shelf, wound it, let it play, sat in my chair, surrounded by mechanical life. Each toy with a story, each repair a lesson. Took me 6 months to fix these toys. 6 months to repair what took 6 days to break. Math seemed about right for life. The ballerina spun in the foreground. Music box played harmony. Workshop hummed with gentle mechanical sounds. Warm light filled the space. People ask if I regret it. I regret that I had to do it, but I'm proud that I could. Revenge is a cold dish. Forgiveness is even colder. But love always warms. My daughter's laughing again. My son calls from Tokyo. My workshop hums with life. Broken things can be repaired. Sometimes broken things become stronger at the break. Sometimes the cracks are where the light gets in. I'm 68 years old. I've been a father, a designer of illusions, a seeker of justice, and a broken man who found his way back. If you asked me to do it all again, I'd hesitate. Then I'd say yes, because some things are worth breaking for. Some people are worth protecting, even if it breaks you too. My daughter is one of them. Always has been. Always will be. I watched the ballerina spin, read the plaque one more time. For Fanny, for second chances, the music played on. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.